who, other than their situation, are just like us. Every young person deserves a young life.
The pain that comes today.
These young Australians deserve a young life.
And I want this more than life. I want this more than life. I want this more than life. I want this more than life.
However, there is still so much more that needs to be done.
I want this more.
But this issue is solvable. So help us tackle this enormous injustice.
I want this more than life.
Create an impact. You can make it happen.
It's awesome.
This is a special Westpac way. Thank you all for coming from private bank and retail. Andrea, good to see you here. What I'd like to recognise Pat Sheen from Youngcare. Pat, you're the Property Development Manager here on the coast, and we'll hear from Pat shortly. I'd also like to acknowledge Enda Vararo from Griffith Uni. Enda is going to be doing a podcast for us this morning. The first thing is that I came across Youngcare when I saw a 60 Minutes program earlier on this year, and it highlighted to me the plight that we have with accommodation for young people who need high care. In between that, I was lucky enough to meet with one of Pat's peers at Griffith University and hear a presentation from them. And then talking with Griffith University, with Youngcare, this is formulated here this morning. Can I have a show of hands from you guys who has been involved in a local charity previously on the coast? So Westpac, as you know, really encourages this sort of positioning. From a Youngcare perspective, it's a relatively new charity, and we want to raise the level of awareness throughout Westpac right across the Gold Coast. Secondly, with Enda here in the podcast, we want to put this on the Griffith University website and raise awareness all through the university here on the coast as well.
Youngcare is still a relatively new and young organisation, having only opened its doors about 5 years ago. So first of all, I just wanted to provide that video to give you a little bit of an overview of what Youngcare is about and what we're trying to do to make a real difference in the lives of young people, to give them dignified, quality life. So first of all, I'd like to share with you two stories of two young and courageous women who have been afflicted by sudden injury, and how that's affected not only themselves, but their family and friends and the people that care and support them. First of all, Sarah Jane was a legal secretary, starting to become a lawyer. At just 21 years of age, she suffered a severe stroke and was admitted to the Royal Brisbane Women's Hospital in 2008. As a result of that massive stroke, she was fully ventilated in intensive care for 6 months, and then moved to respiratory ward, where she remained for another 19 months. She remains at night time ventilated with a tracheostomy. She has limited speech and mobility, and her swallowing is actually impaired. She's not actually cognitively impaired, so she understands everything that's going on around her, but she's completely unable to communicate, and she relies very much on her mother to assist her. Everything from speaking for her, responding to emails, taking calls, going to the toilet with aid, showering, receiving medication. Even to the point that every 15 minutes the mother needs to be there available to clear her throat to ensure that she doesn't choke and die. So it's a very tough situation for the family to be in. She receives 12 to 14 hours care alone just from her mother every single day, and she's given extra physio, speech therapy and rehabilitation. that's just one individual. We hear so many cases like this that are coming through our Youngcare Connect counselling service hotline. So at a time when young people with high care needs are falling through the cracks, Youngcare really has emerged as an agent for change, big change. The work again that's been done by the university to drive awareness, the wonderful work even just commencing with a discussion, raising the awareness by yourselves is absolutely tremendous, and it makes such a difference that more and more people are knowing about this issue. So in terms of what Youngcare is doing, the strategy, we started by creating these wonderful apartments, which now are residents to 16 people in Brisbane. And it was through that incredible groundswell that the chairman realised it is something so much more than a local issue in Brisbane. This is a national issue and we have to do something about it. So as a result of that, the strategy has changed from being local to now looking nationally, to do as many things as we can to drive awareness, to do more research on the issue, to speak and lobby to government to make changes, to make more funding available. Our apartments, we've now got our second apartment development in Coomera, which is very exciting. Beautiful location opposite the river. We were very fortunate that we were able to get government funding, particularly with the stimulus that has come through recently. The reality is though that we do have $1 million shortfall, as we mentioned on the video there. And so it's the work of individuals like yourself to raise funds. It's the efforts of government to do more and to provide more funding. It's the efforts of companies and the builders and the plumbers that I talk to say, hey, we're happy to come on board because this is a worthwhile cause and we have to do something about it. So we've been very fortunate. We've had a number of businesses already jump on board. We've got a number of the consultants all providing pro bono support for this project. And right now my job, one of the things I came on board to do was to start calling out, making people aware of the issue and asking for help. So I continue to work through that process on the building project, initially with the operational work, so talking to the civil guys and engineers to come on board, and then further down the stage we'll be looking at the interiors and so forth. But there is still a significant gap, and without the help of the community, it just wouldn't be possible to make a real difference in the lives of young people.
So this is an opportunity for us to pay back, and I don't think there'd be anyone that I know that hasn't benefited at some stage from fundraising. So I was lucky enough to be able to find a very kind baker, a local baker that knew that Youngcare existed, and yes, no trouble. So these are fantastic cupcakes. They're very, very special. They bring happiness, so they cost a lot. So this morning I'd like to take bids for every single one of these cupcakes, and remember, matching gifts. So do I have a bid for a cupcake? This one right here.
Good one. $20.
Lovely, Sal. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're setting the bar there. So I will take any form of payment. I have someone that can arrange an own facilities.
I've known the Kyles and their family for over 20 years, and I can assure you they're very close friends of mine. I've known Nicole since she was in primary school, and it's a very sad situation. Her parents find themselves in today. So I have to say to you, once again, this is a very worthwhile cause, and I'll buy one for $100.
Thanks guys, I didn't expect to raise anything like this sort of money this morning from this team, and I thank Alan and his team for coming over as well. It's a great effort, and it shows that the Westpac spirit is alive and well. Thank you.
So that's $480, and of course we'll double that with matching gifts, so that's amazing. That's
So if you want to put me down for 20, I want a cupcake.
That's $1,000. That's fantastic.
Call 1300 Youngcare or visit youngcare.com.au.
It's awesome.